War Room Rivals is sponsored by Emporia State Federal Credit Union. Learn more at esfcu.com. Text or call the number 620-342-2336 to get started today. ESFCU is the Shovix banking of choice, federally insured by the NCUA. This episode of West War Room Rivals is brought to you by JBW Solutions Industrial Safety Services, your remote safety partner no matter where work takes you. From the job site to the office, JBW Solutions brings OSHA 10 and 30 training, plus a full lineup of compliance services straight to your screen. Whether you're a small crew or a major operation, they make safety simple, accessible, and effective. Visit jbwsolutionsllc.com to learn more today and stay compliant wherever you are. West War Room Rivals is sponsored by Field Ops. Kansas sports fields just got an upgrade with Field Ops. Looking to reserve top quality sports fields in Kansas? Whether you're organizing youth tournaments, adult leagues, or weekend pickup games, Field Ops is your go-to platform for discovering and booking the best athletic fields across the state. Instant online reservations, detailed field info such as locations, amenities, and photos. Field Ops is also trusted by coaches, organizers, and athletes. From Wichita to Overland Park, Field Ops has got you covered with real-time availability and streamlined scheduling. Get in the game at gofieldops.com/Kansas-KS. That's gofieldops.com/Kansas-KS.
All right, welcome in tonight's special edition of the War Room Rivals. We have a very special guest with us who, Chiefs Kingdom, you guys obviously know him as the Nigerian Nightmare. Let's welcome onto the stage Mr. Christian Okoye.
Hey, fellas, how are you? Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for accepting our invite.
Yeah, we're honored to have you on, and we know you got a busy evening, so we're gonna kind of jump right into it so we can get you out of here, and let you enjoy some college football. So Cody up here is going to start us off with the first question.
Yeah, so Christian, I'm just curious. Obviously, you played in Chiefs Kingdom, of course, and in the AFC West is where my formerly known Oakland Raiders and Las Vegas Raiders live now. What was it like playing in the AFC West against teams like the Broncos, the Chargers, and the Raiders?
Well, every time you play a division team, it's like playing the playoffs because you don't want to lose to a division team at all. Mm-hmm. So, especially the AFC West is a very tough division. Probably not in the past few years, but now, especially this year, it's going to be very competitive because every team is gotten better. Right. And the Chiefs is having to look for ways to compete. But I like the way the Broncos, Raiders, and the Chargers are playing this year. They're being very competitive, so I like that.
During your time, did you have a rival that you liked playing against in the AFC West? Was there a team that you look forward to the most?
The Raiders.
That's right. Let's go.
Everyone always says the Raiders.
Yep, Raider Week.
Was Raider Week a thing?
I see the logo behind you over there.
Yes, sir.
We used to kick your ass every time.
I love it.
But you know what? I got to tell you this. Some of my best friends played for the Raiders, and I live in Southern California. I was good friends with Al Davis.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, because he almost drafted me, but he turned around and drafted Vance Mueller instead. Oh. And I was like, hey, Coach D, what happened? He says, well, you don't have much experience in football, so we have to go with Vance. So, but that's the conversation between him and I. Okay. Sometimes if you watch Al Davis, story, you see he and I on the sideline talking, so, but I love them. I love them because he loved his players. He treated them very, very well. People don't understand what he did for the game of football.
Right.
So, and now, Mark is, trying to do the same thing, but not quite like his dad. But he's trying. He loves his players. Mark loves former Raiders. Mm-hmm. He brings all of me in. If you play one down for the Raiders, you are a Raider.
Oh yeah.
See, so I like that.
What was one of your favorite memories playing against the AFC West? Like, is there a memorable game that you can think of?
Yes. In 1989, the year I led the league in rushing, I don't think the Chiefs had won in Seattle for 9 years. But we went in there in 89, and I think I had 149 yards rushing, and we beat them. And I probably had one of maybe the best run in my career in Seattle because it was so noisy in there. I've always told my quarterback, let me know which side we're running. But every time you call a play, I couldn't hear him. So I always go the wrong way. One time we were in the 11-yard line. I started to my right, but the play was going left. So by the time I saw that, I already taken about 2 or 3 steps. I got the ball, but I still ran 8 guys over and scored. So that was the best run I've had in my career.
That's incredible.
Nice.
So I've always enjoyed watching your highlights going into Mile High. Obviously, the Chiefs Broncos had some really good games when you played. Do you have a favorite memory at Mile High going up against the Broncos?
Yes. Playing against the Broncos, of course, going to Denver is one of those things where you have to prepare yourself, because you're in the enemy territory, And the crowd is so rowdy, and the air is so thin, and they have to play against that defense, Dennis Smith and Outwater. I've always been told that as a running back, as a single back, that those are your guys. You have to block them. They're not blocked. So we hit each other all the time when I break through the line.
Yeah, I remember watching some highlights of you and Steve Atwater having some good battles going on. Those were the good old days. But we want to kind of transition into kind of why we.
That's okay. You can ask me. You can ask me that question. That one play. Yeah, everybody asked me about it.
Yeah.
He got me. He got me.
Yeah.
But if you run the ball as much as I did, they're gonna get you one time. So he got me.
Well,
gotta let him have one, right?
And let's not act like you delivered plenty of punishment yourself while you were running the football too. So I mean, we're not gonna let the one play define what you were actually able to do to other people. So while yes, Steve Atwater and you, the hit heard around the world, but you delivered just as much punishment. So we're gonna give you your flowers on that. And you were a damn good running back.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Of course.
Absolutely. And then we want to kind of transition in. We want to touch base on your foundation a little bit. That's kind of why we do what we do. We like hearing all the great causes. That's really what all this is about. So we just want you to touch base on your foundation a little bit, what you guys are about, and who you help.
Yeah, every time, I've always described it this way. Every time God puts you in this kind of platform, it's always for a reason, touch other lives. And in my case, I try to help kids the way somebody helped me out of Nigeria, So there's a lot of kids out there in the system that need help. Sometimes they don't have parents. You have to guide them. Somebody has to, So that's why I started my foundation in 1990. And I've been working with kids ever since. And I've seen so many kids just turn around and, be somebody. Through my foundation and other foundations. So doing such a thing for the kids, it just brings life. It brings happiness to me. Because I go to events and I see guys come up to me and shake my hand and telling me, hey, I came to your program in 1995 and I heard Junior say I'll speak, and Marcus Allen, Eric Dickerson, and so on speak, and they changed my life because of the speeches they gave. Those kind of things are the things that we should be doing for the kids today. And I have to tell you, I've seen a lot of players that do that same thing for kids. And I'm very happy when I see that.
Absolutely.
It's incredible.
Yeah, and everyone at the Christian Okoye Foundation, if you have time, go look, go support, and help out this great cause, because, helping the youth, that's where it all starts. This foundation is wonderful.
Yes. So
And
every December in Kansas City, I take about 300 kids shopping.
Yep.
We give them $200 each, and they go to Dick's Sporting Goods and buy whatever they want. And the guys that I bring in to kind of take the kids around, they have a great time doing that because they see the happiness in these kids' eyes, and the way they just appreciate everything is just incredible.
So what's the mission statement for the foundation, and how are you guys living by the foundation's mission statement?
Mission statement is actually 3 words: education, sports, idea. Education, of course, we use sports to bring kids in, and we talk to them about education. And idea in that is, think about what you're going to be in the future. We bring in some businessmen, my sponsors, to speak to the kids. Even when we do this shopping thing, I bring in my sponsors to kind of take the kids shopping too, and they learn a lot. They learn a lot. They learn about life, which is extremely important.
Absolutely. All right, we got a couple quick lightning fun questions that we're going to hit you with, and then we'll let you get back to your evening. And I think Corey's going to take it.
Okay.
Yeah. So obviously, everyone knows Chief Kingdom is the loudest fan base, or the most passionate fan base. Do you have a favorite Chief Kingdom story that you'd like to share real quick?
I'm sorry. Say it again. These guys are being so loud.
Yeah. So everyone knows that the Chiefs Kingdom's passionate. They have a crazy fan base. We have family who goes to Chiefs games every home game. So do you have a favorite Chiefs Kingdom story that you'd like to share real quick?
Oh, man, I don't have a single story, but I tell you what, Kansas City is like, people don't understand. As a rookie, when I was playing, I used to, walk through all the gauntlet where people are barbecue and all that, to go get ready for the game. And after the game, I will come back and sit with these guys and just eat and drink beer. It's so awesome, so great. They're so welcoming. It can have a difficult time coming to Arrowhead Stadium to watch a football game. The fans are so great. That's why I still come back to Kansas City, even though I live in Southern California. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then we have one final question that we like to ask all our former coaches and players who join us, just to kind of get a perspective and their opinion. But when people hear the name Christian Okoye, what do you want them to remember you for?
I want them to think of a guy who gave it all. Even though I didn't know football that much, I jumped into it, trying to do all I can to make sure I make a positive impact on the field and off the field, which is very, very important.
Well, with your foundation, it's very poignant that you are doing that off the field, and your legacy is going to continue with your with what you're doing and being able to bring life into the youth and giving them the opportunities like you did. So thank you for your contribution and the foundation. And I'll speak for the group. Thank you so much for giving us your time. You've been a real blast, and I hope you can come back soon.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you guys having me on. And one more thing.
Yes, sir.
In 2006, I started the California Sports Hall of Fame, and it's going on strong. So if you go to CaliforniaSportsHallOfFame.org, I'm the founder and president of that.
Yep.
That's incredible.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
We inducted guys like Tommy Lasorda, Magic Johnson, Reggie Jackson. California has a ton of big names.
So Matt and I, we're both in California right now. So in our backyard, we've got a bunch of great athletes that came from our state. So
I'm actually in Southern California as well.
Well, you guys should come to my event. It's June 28th.
Hey, send us an invite and we'll be there.
I will be there. Yep, I'll be there.
Okay. All right, man.
All right. Hey, thank you so much for joining us, Christian.
Thank you, Christian.
All right, fellas. Take care.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yes, sir. Man, what a super nice guy. God.
Right. Appreciate him giving us his time.
It was such I was going to say it's such a short time, but like all the stories and like in such a short time. That was awesome.
Yeah. Matt, it looks like you and I have a date in June. So
yep. I guess I better get to California by June, huh?
Yeah, I think some of these athletes are here in California. I think we need to start headquartering here, guys. I've been telling y'all.
Yeah, I'm not moving there, but yeah, very appreciative of him giving us his time. He's got some family that he was with and watching some college football out with him. So we didn't want to keep him too long. We had a few more questions, but we wanted to be mindful of his time. So, even the 10 to 15 minutes was incredible. And even he got some Raider jabs in. So that's all we did.
That was great. Yeah, he came out the gate swinging.
He did. I'm starting to love it's almost like a good sign of respect. I know they're more like, really dumping on it, but I feel like, at least for me, it's a sign of respect of like, oh yeah, no, we hate your team. All right.
So it's just another person who said that they were going to get drafted by the Raiders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys screwed up a lot.
You guys have screwed up a lot. That's what
You done messed up, Ron.
In my defense, I wasn't even born during the draft. I had no say in the argument.
Man, how gross would it have been for him to be a Raider? Oh gosh.
You know how many I think that's like the second story we've had about a Raider, that the Raiders were supposed to draft a particular player and then they passed on him. I want to say there's another player that we talked.
Yes. It was no, he was going to get drafted by. So Carl Pickens told us
Denver.
Dan Reeves.
Denver.
Dan Reeves was is like, hey, we have the 25th overall pick. If you're available at 25, we're going to take you. So the 25th pick rolled around and they ended up taking Tommy Maddox instead.
Right.
Yeah.
And the rest is history.
Yep.
John Abraham was supposed to be the Niners, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then
was it Eric Coleman that was supposed to be? I don't remember if it was Eric Coleman. It was supposed to be another, I think Baltimore maybe.
Yeah.
No, I think Chris Hovan was saying like he wasn't, when he got drafted by Minnesota, he's like, we had no conversation at all. And the Colts had called him and was like, hey, yeah, we're gonna draft you when we get to pick 28. We're gonna draft you. And then the Vikings ended up taking him out of nowhere.
That's right.
So.
And then just a kind of a quick reminder, we'll remind people as you guys are coming into the war room. We did have Christian Okoye joined us tonight. It was a quick 15-minute conversation with him. He had family, and he was watching some football, some college football with some family and friends. So we didn't want to keep him the whole time, but he was gracious enough to give us 15 minutes. And we look forward to having him back on, because just in that 15 minutes, you could hear not only the passion about when he played and in his foundation, but the stories that I feel like we could have built off of on some of those answers that he was giving us. From another Raiders week, playing against the Raiders, another going into Mile High, playing and prepping yourself mentally to go to Mile High in the thin air.
The details of the hit. I wasn't going to ask you. I wasn't going to.
And he said, hey, you can ask about it. It's everyone does.
Everyone does. Yep.
And I get that. And it's like, yeah, we could sit here and say, yeah, we all remember the hit, but I don't also want to. I wanted him to understand that we've seen your highlights as well. Like, let's not sit here and act like you weren't the one delivering some punishment to guys as well. So I watch the Steve Atwater hit over and over all the time when I see it. That doesn't necessarily mean Christian Okoye and Steve Atwater. What I wanted him to know that I still respect him as a running back.
Well, there's still highlights of him like I wouldn't say trekking, but like running through Atwater.
And he has that nickname for a reason. Like, there's a reason he's the Nigerian Nightmare. It wasn't because he got hit by Steve Atwater.
Steve Atwater's vocal about it. Like, yeah, I mean, I got him. He's gotten me. So it's just like I just happen to get him.
Those are the days, though. That's what we if we can get him back on, we want to dive into those days, because that's kind of what we're trying to get, right? Like, and you heard it, like, he hated the Raiders, but he loved the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, like on the field, I hate the Raiders. It's Raiders week, but he said he was friends with them, like Mr. David. Like,
he said a majority of his friends are from the Raiders, which makes sense.
Yeah.
And again, I know that you guys caught that towards the end when he was talking about walking through the Kansas City tailgates. I'm telling you guys, Kansas City food. You guys haven't had anything like Kansas City food.
Yeah.
I need you guys to make it to Kansas City.
We don't even have to go into the game. Like, we just tailgate.
I'm down.
I'm telling you.
Down.
Who's Badger Barrel are we bringing?
All of them.
I mean,
all of them.
All of them.
We'll just stack them on top of each other and make one barrel.
Do you think that would work for carry-on?
Dude, the God honest truth of the Kansas City games, though, is you literally could just walk through and people are just going to hand you food.
Yeah.
Sounds like a
Good food. You're going to walk through and they're going to give you some brisket. They're going to give you some burn-ins. They're going to give you some burgers. You might even get a beer or two out of people. Like, I'm telling you, yes, Kansas City fans may seem a little wild and just kind of like jerks.
Robbing banks.
Robin Banks. But
don't let one guy ruin the whole bunch, okay?
But even when Christian was like, I'd walk through the tailgate area, and then he's like, before I know, I'm sitting there next to someone eating just food.
Yep.
Like, that's just how it is. I mean, Kansas City's tailgates. I mean, even as a Broncos fan, I've gone to Chiefs Broncos games at Arrowhead before. They weren't always polite to me, but that kind of builds on the experience.
There was even one game I went to, there was a breakfast buffet.
Oh.
Like, I got biscuits and gravy, bacon, scrambled egg, like a whole like breakfast buffet line. So like, you know what I mean?
Shout out to Jeff, our partner with JBW Solutions. By the way, in the JBW Solutions studio, we had to kind of run through this real quick, but yes, Jeff was just casually texting with Carl Pickens.
Where was my text about this?
Look at this guy just texting with Carl Pickens.
No big deal.
Oh, nonchalant.
Well, Carl Pickens is awesome. I remember my mom sent a message that Carl Pickens like thanked her for one of the comments she did. So like, in reality, Carl Pickens is just like a stand-up guy, which you guys have seen it on here a couple times.
Might as well just make him the fifth co-host of the show.
Honestly, yeah.
He can come on in.
Yeah.
We're going to have a round of golf with him. So,
although I do want to say about Christian Okoye, though, super nice dude and also super patient because he tried his hardest to get on the show. We had some technical difficulty and he still made it work. And he's been chatting with all of us leading up to it. So he's been very active with us and he doesn't have to be. He's a pretty big name out there in the NFL world. So he's been super gracious to us as well. Mm-hmm. So I think we've been getting real lucky with these athletes that are being super generous when we reach out to them and all that stuff.
He even liked a couple of my graphics to where he posted them for himself. And I'm like, hey man, that's what we were going to use to promote you, but I'm not going to say anything to you because you can do what you want. So
100%.
Oh, sorry guys. Just sitting here texting Patrick Mahomes. Don't mind me.
Yeah. Okay, Jeff.
Wait, why would a Bronco fan have Patrick Mahomes' number?
So we can tell him how much we hate him.
Exactly. Yeah. So let's again, those of you that are just tuning in, we had a quick conversation with Christian Okoye. I do encourage you guys to go back and watch that little segment we had with him. It was great, and I look forward to getting him back on for, even if it's another 15 minutes. I'm perfectly fine with that because again, that's more time than he really had to give us. So we're always going to be thankful for that. That's why we always ask the guests before we come on or before they come into the studio, hey, we typically go an hour, but we'll always adjust it for them. And he's like, yeah, not tonight. Sorry. Mm-hmm. I was watching some Florida State, Virginia football game, and he was waiting for the Houston game. So, again, great 15 minutes. I'll take another 15 minutes at any time from Christian Okoye. So we hope that you guys that were here for that enjoyed it. We'll get some clips posted for that. But I do want to do a quick little, since we obviously have plenty of time left, let's go ahead and dive in to a little bit of some action for this weekend. It looks like perfect. Like hearing that.
Like some swag.
Thank you, Jeff. We can always use some more swag, of course, from our partners.
Thank you. But we do, Cody, do you want to go ahead and run us through? We didn't technically get a good enough intro because we had to dive into questions. So I'll go ahead and let you take it from there, and then we'll dive into some Sunday action.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and just, like I said, right as we were kind of kicking off, we're in the JBW Solutions studios right now. Thank you. Shout out to Jeff and JBW for being partners, veteran-owned, safety-driven, community-focused. So really love our partnership with them, and that Jeff has been great. I love that he's texting Carl Pickens. It's really funny. And I'm sure, Matt, you're probably gonna be like, hey dude, when are you going to tell me that you're on texting bases with Carl?
He never tells me anything unless he needs something. Also, which is probably what it was like when I was a kid, because like whenever I'd say, hi dad, love you, he'd be like, what do you want? Like, so.
Also, shout out to Badger Barrel for the smokers that they sent. If you guys want the same smoker we got, link in the description below. Homage. I think Matt or Corey, you got their care package today, and we're still waiting on
this shirt and one other shirt.
Sick. Yep. And then Shank It Golf, Beard Club, Emporia State Federal Credit Union, and then Field Ops. We're not signing off. I just want to acknowledge our partners before we get started. So I think I've touched on everybody. If I'm missing anyone, just let us know in the comments.
Whoa,
man, I'm not trying to make any problems here.
Whoa. Wording's everything.
This is not my Batman glass.
What up, Meg? Thanks for joining.
Meg.
And then Mama Shovik in the comments. Yeah, I know. I've seen those clips too of the Raiders being drugged. Okay, we're just going to remove that off the comments.
Someone who was super stoked about Christian Okoye.
Yeah.
My mom says she's been a fan her whole life. I'm still questioning that, but at the end of the day,
she hasn't been tall enough to be a fan her whole life.
By the way, if anyone watched last episode, we left on a cliffhanger if Mama Shovik's favorite is Corey or Austin. So
there was no cliffhanger. She laughed about it.
She did not deny it either when it was thrown at her. So I'm sorry, Mama Shovik. I'm reporting the facts on that. So
and then there was also that little part where obviously Matt shamed his dad.
Technically, he said you. He said my adopted son Corey. So
no, he said shame. When you said you didn't know what you were doing as far as grilling goes. And your dad was like,
you shamed him. Okay. All right, Mama Shovik. I think I'll accept your answer. They're both your favorites.
Okay. I brought dishonor to my wife, so.
All right. Let's jump into some Sunday action real quick.
Yeehaw.
Matt, I was telling you before we obviously came on live that Broncos are looking healthy outside of Dre Greenlaw, who's on the IR, where you're getting Evan Ingram back. I think everyone was a full participant today. I know JFM had been kind of limited, but I think today he was full as well. I am saying it is a must-win Monday night. I don't know how you're feeling about Monday night. Is this a must-win for the Broncos?
It definitely is. And I think we had a talk about, winning the early games. Like probably one of our first few episodes, we had talked about like you got to win these early games. This is one of them because when it comes down to the playoff race, the Colts are always in it. The Bengals are always in it. These early games do matter because when, you get to that finish line, you got to have a tiebreaker over somebody. Obviously, we don't have that over the Colts anymore. We got to get it over the Bengals. This is a must-win game. We have to make a statement here. Like, I don't want to say it's going to make or break the season, but it's going to be more difficult to climb into the playoff race when that time comes, should we drop this game. So having Ingram back, again, they got to find a way to get him involved because even when he was healthy, he wasn't really involved in the offense. So now he's healthy. He's had 2 good practices. Got to get him involved. You have to. Everyone's going to be firing on all cylinders.
And I saw a couple things today. Joe Lombardi obviously said that they'd like to get 20 touches each for Dobbins and RJ Harvey, but he was also talking about how close the offense actually is because of the missed big plays, which means he's basically saying that, hey, those plays are actually there. We're just that close. We're just not quite clicking yet. He's like, just be patient. It's going to happen. And then Cody Rourke had posted something earlier about, is this the game that gets Broncos? Maybe Sean Payton had said that the Broncos don't have an identity quite yet. And then so Cody Rourke on X had said, is this the week that it happens? And I kind of commented on there and said, I'd like to see J.K. Dobbins get 15 plus carries. Like, don't get him, 11 and sit there at 11 for 83 and then just all of a sudden go away from it. Give him 15 carries, throw in RJ Harvey's, 8 to 10 carries and let your offense build there. Then you can get your play action game going. Then you can get Bo on the nakeds. Then you can get, then you can work on slowly building up to taking those deep shots. But if you're going to have success against some of these teams that you're playing, you're going to have to run the football and you're going to have to stick with the run game. You can't sit there and say, hey, we have a running back who's averaging over 7 yards a carry. Let's have our quarterback throw 20 more times. So I'd like to see Denver I would like to see them get into a rhythm this week. And I'd like to see Dobbins and RJ Harvey both get in the double digit kind of, carries and, or I know you're not going to like this, but the screen game, there's a right time to run the screen, not every other play.
And that's my point too. Like I'm not saying take screens out of your playbook entirely because they are effective. They do work, but when it gets to the point where every single drive you have a screen lined up on 2nd and 3rd down, you're getting predictable. So like, hey guys, I have an idea. Let's not run a screen this drive and we'll put one in, maybe a few drives later and throw them off, make them think like, okay, we abandoned the screen game. They're not going to be prepared for it. So that's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying.
Yeah. And we won't dive into X factors and stuff. We'll get all that stuff posted for you guys to kind of see this weekend. I want to save the Chiefs-Ravens game because there's quite a bit of storyline to this one, obviously. But I shit you not, Cody, the Raiders are actually 1.5 point favorites.
I don't know why that's the case.
Because JD's out, McLaren's out.
They're not playing the Commanders, bro. They're playing the Bears.
Or the Bears. Oh, yeah. You guys just got smashed by the Commanders. That's right.
But they're out anyway.
So JD6 and McLaren are out, by the way, in case you're worrying for fantasy purposes.
Thanks, Adam Scheffler. I think my concern, and the only reason why I think we're favorites is because we're at home. I mean, and also the Bears, they had one decent showing against the Cowboys. So is it the Bears or is it the Cowboys? I think that's the only thing that might be leaning towards the Raiders' favor. Ironically enough, before we started recording, we were chit-chatting about some of the crap that we heard out of Raider Nation's reporting, which is, Chip Kelly basically said that, Jordan Meredith reminds him of Jason Kelce, but he's not playing like it. So I don't know where the overlap is on that. And then Jackson Powers Johnson, he former Oregon Duck who won the award for best center in the country is not playing center. So I know that there's a lot in Raiders fans that are wanting JPJ to make the switch over to center, which I'm for. Does that fix the offensive line as a whole? I don't know, but we'll see. I mean, I've seen this song and dance before, which I'm concerned with because I was reminded, and I forgot about this a few seasons ago, we had a rookie head coach that was that started their first game and had their first win against the Raiders. And this was the Indianapolis Colts with Jeff Saturday like 3 seasons ago. And Jeff Saturday was arguably like the worst coach in the NFL, but his one lonely win was against the Raiders. And so I'm not saying, it's not great. So I'm not saying that the Bears are going to be demolish the Raiders. I think it's going to be a close game, but as far as like coaching and Ben Johnson, I know that he was tied to the Raiders for a majority of the offseason before, he made his decision. I'm just hoping that this isn't a confidence builder to where like they have their way with the Raiders. I'd like to see if Pete Carroll outcoaches Ben Johnson, but we'll see. Thankfully, this is in Las Vegas, but we'll see. I'm afraid that Raider Nation may not show up like they did for the Monday Night Football game because it was a bad Monday Night Football game and it was a poor showing on Sunday against the Commanders. And it makes me fearful that the Raider fans are not going to show up in Las Vegas like we need them to black out Allegiant Stadium. I'm afraid we're going to see some blue and orange in the stands, and I'm not liking that.
I think Caleb Williams is going to have a huge game.
Yeah.
And I think
possibly.
I think it's because Ben Johnson actually does know how to call his offense. I think, and again, we all know the Raiders defense isn't their strong point, right? And it's also one of those things where it's like, if they get down early, they also don't have the offense that's going to be able to dig them out of a hole. And I don't think you can rely on Trey Tucker the whole time. Like, you're going to have to get your other playmakers involved. But at the same time, I think what you saw out of Caleb Williams last week, I think that's what you're going to start seeing more of that. Look, Ben Johnson knows how to game plan really well. And once he starts getting into his bag and his trick plays start coming out, look out, because the Bears have the weapons on offense to do this. I'm not going to sit here and say that they're Super Bowl favorites all of a sudden, but I do think we talk about the Raiders going into the season learning how to win games. Well, the Bears are still also in that phase of they have to learn to win games. So one of these two teams is going to have to, it's going to work for somebody, right? I mean, I guess they could tie technically, but I don't think that happens. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I do think Bears get the win here, obviously. Mm-hmm. But I think this will be the turning point for Caleb Williams and the Bears offense as they go throughout the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually do think the Bears are going to win by quite a bit, mostly because I think they have a pretty decent defense, and I think they have the up front. I mean, until the Raiders prove to me that they can block, anybody with a decent defensive line, I think, is just going to own the game. That's just plain and simple. You guys know how I feel about trench play. Like, it doesn't matter how good everyone else is on your team if you suck there. And the Bears have a pretty good D-line. Raiders don't have a good offensive line. I do think Ben Johnson and that offense are going to – look, it was the Cowboys last week. We're not going to hide anything. Mm-hmm. But it's still momentum. It felt good with the new coach, new system, getting everything out. It felt good, right? Mm-hmm. I think the Raiders aren't an opponent that's going to stop that, not their defense. They could. There's always, any given Sunday. But on paper, this looks like a game that could go just like the Cowboys game did for the Bears. Not a lot of pushback, I think, from the Raiders defense. If the Raiders block a little bit on offense, I think there's a chance. Because I think they have incredible playmakers. They probably have better playmakers across the board than the Bears.
Yeah.
But you have to block. You have to have time to throw the football. Genty has to be able to take 2 steps before having 4 defenders on him.
Mm-hmm.
That's just plain and simple. And until I see that happen, I'm just going to guess a team with an okay defense is going to ruin everything Raiders.
Matt, go for it. Looks like you got something.
Yeah, honestly, I still think the Bears are going to win, but it's going to be a lot closer than people think. And when you look at them on paper, they're kind of evenly matched. Nobody really has an edge over each other. I mean, if you want to look at like who has the better passing offense, it's the Raiders. They're the 6th passing offense in the league. The Bears have the 27th secondary. So I mean, like there's strengths and weaknesses on both teams. It's just going to be a matter of who's going to exploit them. Now, again, I think Ben Johnson, like Corey said, he's great at game prep. He's good at getting his players ready. So it's just going to be dependent on what kind of Caleb Williams are the Raiders going to see.
Absolutely.
Are they going to see that one that gets panicky in the pocket and just tries to play a lot of hero ball? Or are they going to get a very calm, poised Caleb Williams that Ben Johnson wants, and he's just going to carve that secondary up? So it's really going to depend on what kind of Caleb Williams shows up and Pete Carroll's game plan. Because, again, on paper, it's very hard to separate both of them.
I'm kind of wondering if the Raiders are going to treat this game or at least come out on top reminiscent to like week 1 against the Patriots. And here's why. The 2 losses that we've had have been playoff contending teams. The Chargers, you make the argument that they're probably top 2 in the AFC today, right? Behind the Bills, we can comfortably say. The Commanders are somewhere in the top 3 to 5 in the NFC. Yes, they had a backup quarterback, but they also have a hell of a head coach in Dan Quinn, who got that same team into the conference championship round just this past season against the eventual Super Bowl champions. So I'm hoping, and I'm still saying that I think the Bears are going to come out on top just because this is a kind of game that the Raiders do lose. But if I have any sort of encouragement of how the Raiders could play, which is obviously you take care of the games that you can take care of. If there is so much margin in between where it's so minimal to where it's, a 1.5 spread on either side to where you could win this game if you take care of what you need to, or you could lose it if you turn the ball over, you do the things that you're not supposed to do, then I think that the Raiders could come out on top similar to the Patriots, where it's a back and forth game. They're figuring each other out because the Patriots first new head coach, of course, young quarterback, figuring it out. And I think the Raiders just kind of outlasted them. They made more adjustments and it worked out. I think here with the Bears, very similar. They have a really young play caller and Ben Johnson as a head coach. And I think maybe with the experience that Pete Carroll brings and what Patrick Graham has on the defensive side, maybe you dial up the blitz a little bit more for Caleb Williams to get him a little bit more uncomfortable in the pocket because, I mean, he only had 1 week of like really excellent football against the Cowboys. Even the previous 2 games, they were okay, but they weren't like blow your socks off. But I think if you can get him off rhythm and like uncomfortable, you can contain him or allow him to make mistakes. Caleb Williams referring. But I think what I'm concerned with the Raiders is, can we make adjustments when needed? Because that's what we needed to do with the Commanders. We needed to make proper adjustments right there. And we just seem to be stubborn and say, no, we're not doing it. We're going to keep playing the same game plan. And it didn't lead to anything more than a blowout. So I'm hoping that the Raiders play to what they can do and outlast the Bears, who in theory should be neck and neck with them. And these are the games that I'm talking about where the Raiders need to just be just a little bit better. And it's not even like you need to be perfect. You just need to make less mistakes than the Bears. And I think this is going to be a very interesting matchup of 2 teams that are, I guess, figuring it out respectively in not only their divisions, but in their conferences. And then we'll see how it all plays out on Sunday.
I mean, you better hope, because you got the Colts coming up after, then you have the Titans and the Chiefs and then the Jaguars.
Yeah, it's going to be a long stretch. If we lose this game and we go 1-3 leading into that, we may not see 3 wins until November, if we're lucky.
I mean, it doesn't get much easier after that. Your November slate's basically the Jags, Broncos, Cowboys, Browns, Chargers.
Right.
So, I mean, we talked about it before the season. Each quarter of the season, you gotta figure it out. And to start 1-3 is not a good tone setter for what you have coming up.
We've got you guys right where we want you.
There every year.
Here comes the comeback.
Real quick.
Yeah, no, I was just going to go back to Caleb Williams. I think he's better. He was better the first two games, and I know you said it wasn't knock your socks off, but his first two games were against what we're considering good defenses / playoff teams, and he still had over a 90 quarterback rating in each game. On the season, it's only 7 touchdowns, 1 interception. Like, there's progress there. I don't think we've seen the panicky Caleb Williams a whole lot. I mean, let's be even Pat. You see panicky Patrick Mahomes. Sometimes you can't take it out of those types of, hero ball quarterbacks. But I do think so far this year we've seen I don't even want to say slightly, just a significantly improved Caleb Williams. Now, I'm not saying he's going to go out and throw for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns every game. I don't know if that's in his bag. But I do think he's very much capable of like the Jared Goff seasons.
I mean, my only pushback on that is the quality of teams. Like the Vikings
have an elite defense.
They have an elite defense.
Yes,
I agree. Which is why, I didn't think Caleb Williams looked that great in the game in general.
He had 200 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions, and a 90 rating.
A 90 rating. He throws for 210 yards and it took him 35 attempts.
That's not bad.
It's not great. It's not like because he overshot his guy to get a game-winning touchdown and they couldn't get in field goal range to even solidify it. And then you go against the Lions and he gets blown out. And I can make the argument some of those were garbage time yards. It wasn't like he was keeping them in the game. So I get what you're saying about Caleb Williams. He's much better.
If we're going to talk about Geno, all of his stats last week were garbage time.
I'm not even saying that Geno's better than Caleb. I'm just saying I don't think Caleb's that much better than this year.
We break it down. That stats are stats.
The numbers are misleading, though, because it's like, yes, Geno Smith leads the league, or he's second in the league in passing yards, but the game that the Raiders got their backs blown out. It was like, yeah, he put up almost 300 yards, but 200 yards of that was in the fourth quarter. It doesn't.
No, I agree. Stats are very misleading. I agree with that. That's where I'm trying to take this. Numbers are misleading. So if you actually watch Caleb Williams, he looks better. You actually helped me get to the point I want.
I just don't want it to mislead of he's so much better. I mean, he's okay. I still don't know what we have in him. I don't think.
Well, again, we're 3 weeks in. So, I mean, obviously.
And he was even good last year on a bad team.
The protection's better.
See?
I wouldn't say. Yeah, sorry, Corey. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying that the protection's better. He's got a really good rhythm going with Rome Odunze that they weren't quite able to get last year. Swift's. I had the stats, but I moved on. But the run game's getting there as well. Is it going to look pretty? No, not yet. But I mean, you can still see the improvements that Caleb Williams has made. But I still just kind of like what Matt and I talked about with Bo Nix. It's 3 weeks in, right? Bo Nix has 5 touchdowns this year compared to 0 this time last year. Is that a huge step? No, because Bo's actually looked like shit. So stats again being misleading because yes, he has 5 touchdowns now. He had 0 this point last year, but you watch him on tape and you watch him, his footwork's not there. His decision making, his forcing it, he's trying to do too much. Whereas Caleb was doing that last year, and you haven't quite seen that yet this year.
Yeah, how many games highlights have we watched, or when we're watching Bears game, and we're like, "Damn, did you see that throw?" Yeah,
he's putting some cheese on it. I mean, it's. Go ahead, Matt.
It's there.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying too. Is Caleb Williams light years ahead of where he was on his rookie year? By no means at all. But if you look at tape side by side from rookie year to now, there's there's definitely improvements there. And I think he has potential. I think he fits well with Ben Johnson. I think, part of his play is credited to Ben Johnson. Yeah. And what he did with that offensive line too, because now, the whole question was great. Now Ben Johnson fixed that offensive line. Now this is all on Caleb Williams. Has he risen to the occasion? No, but we're only 3 weeks into the season, and there is marked improvement. And I think you're probably going to start seeing an upward trend. He is getting better connection with Odunze, and I think they just got Luther Burden involved in the last game. Mm-hmm. You start getting all these other key players involved, and Caleb is going – I think he's going to be a lot better than what people are giving him credit for. Right now, probably not. It's the same thing with Bo. Bo just needs to settle down. He needs to go back and remember, hey, I can compete in this league. I can play. And it's the same thing with Caleb. They can both compete in this league. They've both shown they can compete in this league. They just have to remember to, settle down, trust their abilities, trust the coaching staff, trust the line, and trust their players. And they're going to be fine.
Yeah, I personally, and I'm a Caleb Williams hater. So, through it, I don't like him at all. It could be what he did to KU when he was at Oklahoma on that bullshit fumble. But anyway, I think you're already seeing it. Through 3 weeks, he is less panicky. Yes, he's missing through everyone. I could show a 10-minute video of Patrick Mahomes missing through.
Right, yeah.
And Geno Smith is fitting into windows and getting it picked off. So, I'm not sitting up here saying that Geno Smith is without blame, because Lord knows that I need better play out of him and for the Raiders to do better. So I get what you're saying.
I think the two things for a quarterback is he looks calmer this year. And one thing he's always been good at is so far in the NFL, he hasn't turned the ball over. I think he had 6 interceptions last year and I think he was sacked 70 times. So it's not like he wasn't people in his face all the time. So he's not turning it over. And so far through 3 weeks, we haven't watched full games. We've watched drives here and there. He does look calmer. So I think, he has those things going for him. I agree where, we watch Bo right now and we're like, dude, calm down. I think Caleb's already at that point where he's calmed down. Now everything else needs to slide into place. And I don't like Caleb. I don't want him to fail. I never want players to fail. I'm just never going to root for him. I know you're the Bears, but I do think he becomes their first 4,000-yard passer this year.
Maybe.
I think he'll get. Yeah.
It's plain and simple. I do kind of lean towards. I know we were kind of giving the Bears the off season of hey, they're going to be super. I don't think they're going to be the 10. They may be the 10-win team, but not the 14-win team that he said they were going to be.
Their defense is taking a step back. That's the sad part.
But let's move. Unless you guys got, we can keep going on the Ravens or the Raiders and the.
I'm just trying to carry Okoye's momentum on hating the Raiders. Okay.
I appreciate it.
Doing it for him.
I think we're good.
Yeah. So Chiefs are underdogs as we head into the home game against the Ravens. 1-2, both of them 1-2. So, I guess from a Broncos perspective of this, and maybe if you're a Bills fan or one of those other teams that are fighting that could be the top in the AFC, one of these teams is going to go 1-3 and dig themselves a little deeper of a hole. I think we all picked the Chiefs except for the Chiefs fan.
It's a win-win.
But again, Xavier Worthy's supposed to be back. I don't know if he's going to be a full go. Not enough to where I'm not putting him in my fantasy lineup. He'll stay one more week on the bench to kind of see if he does get some run, though. That could be interesting to see how they, continue to use, Thornton and some of those other guys. One thing that's kind of stands out and it's kind of funny to me is Patrick Mahomes is still their leading rusher.
That's got to change.
18 carries.
It's just funny when you said that.
For 125. He's literally their leading rusher. Then on the flip side, Derrick Henry's got a fumbling problem right now.
Which is weird.
We all know how the Chiefs and Ravens play each other in the regular season and postseason. I suppose it's kind of weird talking about postseason already, but what are your guys' initial thoughts here? Let's start with the Chiefs fan because you're actually the one who didn't pick the Chiefs to win this game.
I just keep coming to the fact it hasn't happened yet, But at some point, the Ravens are going to continuously feed Derrick Henry in the run game against the Chiefs. This has got to be the time, right? And if they do that, we lose. That's just plain and simple. If they feed if they feed all their running backs, Chiefs will lose. We're good against the run, but it's still Derrick Henry in that run game, because if he gets semi going, then Lamar's going. I just have to believe at some point somebody in that organization is going to be like, dudes, run. Like, you had to quit letting Lamar Jackson throw 45 times against the Chiefs. That's not even what we're built to do. So if they don't do that, then I do think this is a good game and Chiefs win. But somebody's going to tell them to run the ball, and this is going to be the game where they decide to do it, and they're finally going to win.
No, they're not. Their defense is ass. Ravens defense is so bad.
That's why
I was going to say, I can already
is.
see in my head how this game is going to play out. Andy Reid and the Chiefs are going to come out guns a-blazing, because assuming Worthy is even remotely healthy, they're going to probably do some sort of disguise to where they pull the defense to where he's drawing coverage, and they're going to probably hit Thornton. They're going to get a little bit of offensive momentum, and what's going to happen is they're going to score a couple of times on the Ravens. Ravens are going to abandon the run, or at least not prioritize it, and the Chiefs are going to be playing with the lead, and that's when the defense works its best. And the Ravens don't really do well when they're behind, and the Chiefs are really good about protecting leads. That's how I am envisioning this. I'm not saying that it's the first quarter blowout, but I wouldn't be surprised if at halftime there's like a 10-point to a 14-point lead, maybe a little bit more, and I could say maybe it's because the Ravens can't get anything going offensively. They're trying too hard, and so they're going 3 and out a lot, and the Chiefs are capitalizing on those extra possessions. That's how I'm envisioning the game, to where by halftime, that defense for the Chiefs is now just making sure that they don't give up a lead and they take away the run, because the Ravens couldn't afford to run to get back in the game, because that's how you eat the clock. And that's how I see this game playing out against the Ravens and Chiefs, which is exactly how every game goes against the Ravens and Chiefs. Like,
and this
the Chiefs,
is the one where they need to run, not because that's how they're built, but because now they actually have an ass of a defense. So the more you run, the better it is for you, and you're keeping the defense off the field, which is really weird to say about any Baltimore team in my lifetime. It feels weird saying that. Like, I almost feel like I'm a liar up here when I say that Baltimore has a bad defense. But I think the whole situation is lined up to actually run the ball this time, have time of possession, finish with touchdowns, limit the amount of time your defense is on the field. They still have enough talent defensively where I think Ravens can get a stop or two. And if you limit the Chiefs' possessions, a stop or two might do it if you just own the ball. Like, this has to be if they don't do it this time, they never will. It's plain and simple.
And Madubuike is out for the Ravens, so I think this has to be the Pacheco game.
Yes.
I think this is where you kind of establish Pacheco early, and then you can get into your play action games, which will open up those deep shots. I would even Kareem Hunt. I think getting both those running backs involved with Madubuike out, that's obviously their big anchor in the middle, and he's a huge reason why their run defense is usually pretty good. But without him there, now you can get your run game going. Now you can actually really, truly run your offense, get your play action game going, get Trav and Patrick back on track with their reads.
He ate the Ravens.
Yeah, this is going to be it's going to be the Pacheco game. I'm going to call it right now.
Yeah.
That would be huge.
Same. And it's funny because, like, even Austin, you're absolutely right. Like, they got to get the ball to Henry. I don't know why they never give the ball to Henry when they play the Chiefs.
Ever.
Like, it still blows my mind. But, like, if there was ever a time, even if they do give the ball to Henry, if there was ever a time to exploit a defense, it's this game. Doing, when I was doing, like, their head-to-head comparison, I don't think they're ranked above 29th in any category. And, like, this is the first time in the history of ever that I've, like, seen a Ravens defense, like, at the bottom. Like, like, there's, what is it, Shark Tale, like, there's whale dung in there, and then there's you. That's what this is. Like, I've never seen a Ravens defense in this shape. So, again, get Pacheco going, get Kareem Hunt going, Thornhill, Worthy is back. Like, if there was ever a time to exploit a defense, it is this is the time to do it. You have a shot. Even if Henry is getting that, in his rhythm, they're not going to be too far out of reach. And kind of going with that Chris Hovan mentality. If you guys haven't seen that show, go watch it. When he was talking about, being on the number one defense with the Bucs, they would tell them, give us 16 points and we'll win the game for you.
Yep.
And it's going to be like that for the Chiefs. And I can see that happening. Give us 16 points and we'll win the game for you.
And I think a huge part of this is Kyle Hamilton's still good. They obviously have Malachi Stark still. But if you're establishing the run, now you got these guys creeping up. Because those guys, they can be those game changers on defense. That if they can get Patrick to turn the ball over a couple, crappy interceptions, those guys can do it. But if you're running the ball, both those guys like to play downhill. They like to play by the line. So if you can get those guys moved closer to the line, then that opens up, and you can hit the Hollywood Browns, the Thorntons, and if Worthy is in fact going to play. But you got to make sure that you take those two guys out in the secondary, because Humphreys is still banged up a little bit. Alexander was a scratch last week, and I don't think he's going to play this week again. So they're not the secondary that we're accustomed to seeing from the Ravens. So now you got to take their two best players on the back end of it, get them creeping down a little bit, and then that's when you can go over the top end. And we're just four guys on screen here. Andy Reid and Matt Nagy and all those guys probably already know all this. So
I think the weird part of this is like, the last 5 to 6 years, this matchup, we're talking about two dominant offenses and defenses, right?
It could be a shootout this week.
It could. It very well could, honestly. But it's so backwards from what we've been used to the last few years. We're what can Chiefs do offensively to exploit the Ravens? And right now, if the Chiefs click, they should be able to do whatever they want, just given how the Ravens defense has looked. And then it's the same thing with the Ravens offense every time you play a Chiefs. Just run the ball. I don't know why, what you have Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. Why are they both not getting 20 plus carries? What do you mean Derrick Henry has 12 carries against the Chiefs in a game? What? So it's weird to me, but I think it's so awkward for me because this game is just so backwards from what we're used to. And part of me wants to just assume Ravens defense is really good, but it's not. So I don't know. It's hard for me to grasp it, just given the state of the two teams. Just they're not where we're used to, and it just feels weird, honestly.
And in my mind, Bills and the Ravens were 41-40 with the Bills winning that game.
Yeah,
I'm sitting here saying it could be that, but then it's gonna be 17-13 or something. We don't have
Matt Prater though.
Matt Prater, Matty Ice,
Matty P.
You got to get him.
This is the kind of game where I can see whoever scores first in the first quarter and just maintains a marginal lead could come out on top, and that's pretty pivotal if the Ravens can start off with the ball and then march it down the field and kind of put a little bit of pressure on the Chiefs to kind of keep up offensively. I think that would be their best bet. Because here's what I think the Ravens' problem is they try to do the exact same thing the Chiefs do, and they don't do the Ravens don't do their own game. They try to keep up with the Chiefs, which is dunking or throwing it over the top, and that's not their game plan. They're built to run the ball, and then you exploit the play action and kind of do the intermediate stuff. And the Chiefs are known to we're going to go big, but we're also going to sprinkle in a little bit of some intermediate throws here and there, and run first isn't their first priority. The Ravens, for some reason, always try to copy the Chiefs in the middle of the game, and it's to their detriment. That's not how they play Ravens football. It's smash mouth, it's run it, it's use Lamar, it's use Henry in whatever form or fashion. I think essentially, it wouldn't be sacrilegious to say first one to score is essentially going to win the game, because I feel like whoever can maintain the lead and just hold on to it, their defense will probably outlast, obviously, whoever, either the Ravens or the Chiefs, in my opinion.
Yeah, his key is whoever has the most points at the end wins.
Yeah.
No.
Whoever snaps the ball the quickest. No. Go back and listen to when we were doing our individual show. Go back to listen to our episodes for the playoff time. I was begging teams, quit doing what the Chiefs are trying to do. Mm-hmm. Stay true to you.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Stay true to who you are as a team and your identity, and quit trying to match what the Chiefs are doing. Because most of the time the Chiefs can't match what other teams are doing as far as run game goes.
Not a chance.
I begged 2 years ago, I begged Kyle Shanahan, just run the damn ball in the Super Bowl, man. Just run the damn ball. And they wouldn't do it. I've asked the Ravens each time they played the Chiefs in the playoffs, run the ball. Now, I don't want people to get excited and see that maybe they do use Derrick Henry that first drive.
Mm-hmm.
we want to see it do it on the second drive too.
Yeah, the last 2 times in the playoffs, I remember the one year it was Gus Edwards. They gave it to him the first play of the game, and he busted like a 34-yard run. He finished with 3 carries in the game. Yeah. That was the first play of the game. And
Sean Payton, is that you, player?
And then Derek, I think it was last year, the first drive he had 6 carries, and then he finished the game with 13. So, yeah. But, Cody, I think you were spot on. I'm going to use something you both have said on the show. Mm-hmm. If they come out that first drive and kind of set the tone, so if they come out and have, what'd you call it, a Lions drive?
I want a Lions drive.
If they come out and do that, I think that changes the whole complexity of the game. If they can come out and have that, like, 15 plays where 14 of them are runs, you take 10 minutes off the clock, shit's going to hit the fan because you guys are staying true to, like, you guys have a game plan. You're sticking to it. This is for real. So if they come out and have that Lions drive, that's what they need to do.
But on the flip side, you're also expecting the Chiefs to end up having a drive like that too, because there's times where that's when the Chiefs were at their best. That's what they're doing.
True.
Yeah. They're getting 5-6 minute drives, and then when they get the ball back with like 7 minutes in the fourth quarter,
they drag that out.
Good luck.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna sit there and just absolutely just drag this out. You're gonna have a big third down. You're gonna think 15 is going to take off, run for a first down, and then you're like, well, shit, now I'm defeated. So
yeah, our sideline reporter Mama Shovic just is reporting that Virginia has beaten number 8 Florida State. So
is
I can't read, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, almost. That's not a good word to use for my mom. She likes college football. I was going to call me a college football slut, but I didn't want to reference that to my mom.
We do not say that about Mama Shovic in this house.
Exactly. So she is
not up in here.
Yeah, no, she's a big college football fan, so she'll keep us up to date. But we have some good Sunday games for us, though.
Yeah, I have a quick question to close out the Chiefs and the Ravens before we go on to the Chargers. Who needs this game more, the Ravens or the Chiefs?
Chiefs.
I'm gonna say the Ravens.
Have you seen the Chiefs' schedule though?
I think here's the thing: if the Chiefs fall to 1-3, I think their odds are tough to climb out of, but I don't think it completely excludes them. If the Ravens fall to 1-3, I would almost argue I think their season's over. How do they come back from that? 2 of those losses come from blown leads, and then you lose to a playoff team in the Chiefs. So I think the Ravens need this game more.
I think the Chiefs' schedule coming up, man. I don't know if we can bounce back from 1-3. We might be sitting, if we lose this, we could very easily be sitting 1-5 by the time we get Rashid Rice back. Mm-hmm. And that's not riding the ship like we said we needed to do to get him back. Their schedule it's pretty brutal. I think the Lions are in there.
Yeah.
That's the only one I remember.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs need this one a little more. Just based on what it is. The Ravens schedule coming up, it's nothing what the Chiefs are getting ready to endure. So, I mean, obviously after they have the Texans, so no one knows what the Texans are right now. but then they have the Rams, Bears, Dolphins, Vikings. They should be just fine in that. Whereas if you look at it and you go to the Chiefs have the Jaguars, which that's a Monday night game. Boo.
But they've been okay this year.
So you have the Jaguars, then you have the Lions, then they have the Raiders, Commanders, and Bills, Broncos, Colts.
Yeah, that Commanders, Bills back-to-back, Lions in there too. That's brutal.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot, and you're going to learn a lot about what the Chiefs truly are. Are they going to continue to, the games that they were winning last year, they're not quite there this year. Is this the time where they slip up and now they can't finish games? I don't know, but you're going to see a lot from this. So, Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, I think for me, the Chiefs need this more just because they have a tougher hill to climb. If they lose this, that hill becomes a mountain. Yeah. So this is a game they have to win. Again, we all talked about it a few episodes ago. I know I sound like a broken record. These are these early games that you need to win because when it comes down to that playoff race, who are always the teams that are in contention for that number 1 seed? It's always the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Ravens. It's just those 3.
And now I don't think the Chargers are 3-0.
Yeah.
And now you have the Chargers that are creeping up in there, and it's we're 3 weeks in, but they are starting to look like the real deal.
Yep.
So, now you're adding them into the mix and what they're able to do. Plus, the Bills are on fire right now. this is a tough hill to climb. And if you drop this game for whatever reason, like I said, that hill becomes a mountain. So
I think the loser of this game doesn't make the playoffs.
I think so too. I can see that. And if anything, if they do make the playoffs, it's by the skin of their teeth. And it's because the team that they needed to lose lost. So
it's going to be with that like 9-8 record and just barely get in some nonsense. Yeah. But I think the loser of this game does not make the playoffs. I think even the winner of this game, I think the winner of this game has a tough time making the playoffs, honestly. Like, you're still sitting 2-3.
Well, if either one of them win, it puts them at 500. Now you starting again from base, and now again, common logic is just win more than you lose, and then you hopefully make the playoffs. But, again, either team go 1-3, you're right. Probably their season's over. But you go 2-2, you still have life in you. Then another win. Now you're a game above 500, and now you're looking a little bit better than some of these teams in, let's say, the AFC North that are now fighting to even get another wild card spot. So I think getting one of the wild card spots is going to get you between 10 and 9 wins. So it's not insurmountable if you can start off now going 2-2.
Yeah, and I needed the Chiefs to be at least 3-3 when they get Rashee Rice back. Kind of what you said, so you can kind of start you're still even. There's still life in your season.
Right.
I think it's really hard for the Chiefs to get to 3-3 if they lose this game.
I think they're in better shape now if they get Worthy back, even at 75%. I think it puts them in a different now. How you have to game plan them changes now because Worthy, you don't know what he can or can't do. You got to assume he's healthy to do everything. And if that means he's going to stretch the field and open up for other things. This Chiefs offense now just got another layer added to it that they didn't have against who was the teams that they lost to against
lost.
Yeah, well, whatever teams that they lost, the layer of their offense now looks different. So,
well, and if you go 1-3, and we all assume the Chargers are going to beat the Giants to go 4-0, now you're sitting 1-3 while the Chargers are 4-0.
You're kind of removed from the division,
essentially, because after the Giants. The Chargers have Commanders, Dolphins, Colts, Vikings. So, I mean, they could easily win all of those games, in my opinion, which we really messed up at the beginning of the season. You really messed up at the beginning of the season.
I'll talk about it in my car.
None of us picked it better than third, though.
But let's get into the Chargers real quick.
No.
I'm all for. I mean, this is a Jackson Dart household. I hope Jackson Dart goes out there and does his thing. It sucks because I think Brian Daboll's a terrible coach. And I can't wait for them to actually. Well, I don't know. It's the Giants, so I mean, I'd like to see them get someone in there who actually knows what they're doing with Jackson Dart because I do like Jackson Dart, and I think he is a very talented quarterback. Unfortunately, he has an incompetent coach
and
their offensive line. I think. Maybe the left tackle will be more on he was on a pitch count this last game, so maybe his pitch count's gone. But I mean, they could shock us. That would be awesome to see him beat the Chargers, and then it makes things a little more interesting. But looking at the stretch of the games the Chargers have coming up, I'm not very confident in the fact that if you drop to 1-3, Denver's even in the same boat too. Denver drops and goes 1-3, then the Chargers might just run away with this, and then we might just be the laughing stock of football.
And we know the Raiders are 1-3 already, so now we're all just going to be looking up at the undefeated Chargers. Man, we thought this was going to be a stacked division. Remember, guys?
And there's again 3 weeks in. We're 3 weeks in. Things can happen. Chiefs are going to get Rashee Rice back. They have to weather the storm until then. Broncos, the offense has got to figure it out at some point.
No, hold on. I saw their defense rankings. What's going on with their defense?
The Broncos?
Yeah.
I know they're a suspect watch right now.
What's happening? Where did it go?
Yes.
That's for another time. So let's do a quick recap. Again, Christian Okoye joined us the first 15 minutes of the show. He was doing some family, friends, fun night, watching some college football. So he was gracious enough to give us 15 minutes of his time. So we thank Christian again for coming on and joining the show. We hope to have him back on. Thank you to everyone in the chat. Thank you to JBW Solutions for the studio name as well. So this is the JBW Solutions Studio.
Boom.
And I kind of started thinking more. I do want to get Carl Pickens back on here and talk to him about what the hell's going on in Cincinnati.
Same.
You know what? Speaking of, he just randomly reached out to my dad, and they've just been having like a nice old conversation, and told my dad that he thoroughly enjoyed his time both times he's been on the show with us. So,
Man, dude, that's kind of
just out of nowhere, just reached out to my dad, just like, yeah, you know, these guys are awesome. I enjoyed my time on the show with them. So
the part that like gets me the most on that one is like, you have a dad to text.
He's your dad now too, Professor Dickweed.
No, I love hearing Carl Pickens say that though, because like we thoroughly enjoy all of our guests, but like even he hopped in the studio one time and was just playing his guitar, like so chill and so awesome. So I'm glad he's reaching out to your dad and just like having a good time. Like I love hearing that.
Our dad.
Reach out to our dad.
So we'll work on getting Carl back in here because especially if the Broncos do beat the Bengals this week, and then the Bengals now drop to 1-3. No Joe Burrow for the next couple months. What's going to happen in Cincinnati? So I'd love to get Carl's kind of take on that because we know he loves talking about not only his time with the Bengals, but he was pretty high on the Bengals going into this season with that offense. But unfortunately, injuries happen. So that's awesome. One, that he's texting your dad, and two, that we can get him on the show probably whenever we want.
That he thoroughly enjoys his times here. Like,
that's awesome. That's fantastic. So again, okay, are we just bragging? I talked to Carl Pickens too.
Twice.
Well, and I think the awesome part is like the takeaway from this, you guys, it's just like Carl Pickens is amazing.
He's a real dude. He's a real good guy.
That should be the takeaway of just the kind of person that Carl Pickens is.
And then yes, sir.
All right. Appreciate it.
So again, thank you again to Mr. Okoye for joining us at the beginning of the show. Thank you guys for joining us on a Friday night. Thank you to, again, our sponsors, JBW Solutions. This is the JBW Solutions Studio. Thank you to Angie and her team at Emporia State Federal Credit Union. It's been our banking of choice, federally insured by the NCUA.
Nailed it.
Thank you to Troy and his guys at Field Op. Thank you to Homage for the new swag. Love it. All those links are going to be in the description below. Thank you to Badger Barrel. Matt, hit us with the saying.
In a world of butterflies, be a badger.
Patented.
We pivoted. We're going to do another pork butt on the Badger tomorrow, but we're still doing wings and sliders on Sunday. Thank you to Badger. I'll make sure to send you guys the pictures and tag you guys on the War Room Cooking channel on IG, which we're up to almost 50 followers on that bad boy already.
Hey, people love food.
I'm just sitting here like,
people love food.
So next week, another great week for us, minus Matt. Duty calls, understandable. So
thank you for your service.
Thank you for everything you're doing, Matt. We'll make sure to entertain Mr. Blaine Bishop without you. And then no guests on Wednesday, but we're going to give you guys just a normal breakdown of the week and the week to come. And then Jimmy Smith on October 7th.
Let's go.
That's still wild to me. That's fantastic. And then, oh, man, I'm going to miss Kuika Mitchell.
I'm so stoked for that because he hates the Raiders so much.
Dang it.
Oh, good.
I'm out on the 13th and 14th. Duty calls work. I have a basketball coaches meeting that I have to attend. I get to talk to 400 wonderful basketball coaches. So
I'm thanking you for that service.
Super thankful for that. So again, guys, we started booking into November. We have three guests already for November. So that's going to be a really fun time. So guys, do you have anything else before we take it home?
Cody's going to hit us with the whole like, subscribe. He's good at it.
You just did it. I'm good now. Yeah, like, subscribe.
Cody, take us home.
Like, subscribe, share, and then also we're almost at 1,000 followers on Instagram, so go follow the Instagram account.
Yeah.
Don't
we also
forget.
have a guest in December. Don't forget that. We have one guest in December. Yep.
We do. Webster.
We do.
We just talked about this.
No. Webster's in November. Buckholter.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Buckholter rescheduled with us. He's coming in December.
Oh, and also, too, we're having our Christmas giveaway. So make sure you tag 5 friends on IG so that way you get entered into the giveaway.
And subscribe to the YouTube channel. It
is important, but I'm tired of looking back here and seeing this very, very, very expensive gift. So We are super excited for this giveaway on Christmas. I can't wait to see Matt dressed up in a fake beard and a Santa outfit. He's going to
ho 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 all the way around.
Austin, are you doing a glitter beard?
No, I'm actually getting. I was gonna surprise.
He's an angry elf.
Oh, okay.
Because I got little Christmas ornaments.
Maybe I have time to grow mine out so I can do the same, but we'll see
if
my
you want
wife
to grow
lets
it
me
out, go look at Beard Club. They'll tell you what you need, and it'll actually like fill in the beard and help you grow. Shout out Beard Club.
Shameless
I'll remember
plug.
that in 3 years.
3 years. The countdown begins. So again, guys, make sure you guys tag 5 friends. Make sure you're following. Subscribe to the channel for big Christmas giveaway. We're gonna have a huge episode for you guys. Weirdly enough, Christmas is coming up quicker than we kind of realized.
It's already up at Walmart.
Yeah, it's already we're there today, Christmas trees and all. So again, everyone enjoy the rest of your weekend. Make sure to watch the Ryder Cup and college football tomorrow. The Ryder Cup was not a very good day for the old US of A. But again, we can't thank you guys enough.
Dad said it, Matt. You got to do it now.
Yeah, you got to do it now. The sponsor has spoken.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give the people what they want. I tell you what, if we hit 1,000 by the end of next week, I will dress up as Bat Santa.
1,000 followers.
Done.
Yep.
Bro, I'm gonna have that by the end of the weekend.
You said that yesterday.
Well, let's make sure that we're pushing this out on the socials. So if you see this post, make sure that you guys are sharing it so we can get to those followers. And then if we get to 300 subs by Christmas, I'll dress up as something for you guys for our Christmas
Bang
episode.
Santa.
Bang Santa.
You never know. Got to hit 300 subs by Christmas, though. So, again, thank you guys. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you guys next week.